Hello, dear night travelers, those gentle souls who carry a quiet longing for calm, seeking stillness within the soft symphony of the night. Welcome back to the Night Observer, a place where weary minds come to rest, where comfort is found, and where sleep arrives naturally as our thoughts drift toward the vast and mysterious universe. Tonight, I have lit a small bonfire. Once again, we gather close, warming our hands by its glow, listening together to stories written in the language of stars. This evening, we will lift our eyes to the sky and wander into a concept that feels both familiar and strangely distant: the light year. We hear of hundreds, thousands, millions, even billions of light years. Yet how many of us have ever paused to truly feel what a light year means? Do not worry, night travelers. By this quiet fire, I will gently guide you through the meaning of light years and their relationship to the time we live and breathe each day. Along the way, you will also hear of humanity's patient and determined efforts to cross these seemingly endless distances, efforts that may surprise you and perhaps even fill you with quiet wonder at how far we have already come. Now, as we sit beside the softly crackling fire, cool night air moving beneath a sky filled with ancient light, allow yourself to rest. Completely relax your body. Feel your weight settle into the comfort of the armchair. Take a slow, deep breath, drawing calm into your chest, and exhale gently, releasing the weight of the day. Tonight, we are not here to wrestle with dry numbers, but to embark on a journey of understanding, one where familiar measurements fade, making room for the vastness of eternity. Welcome to When Kilometers Become Too Small, Concepts and Definitions. Let your breath move in harmony with the flow of space, and let the quiet rhythm of light itself lull you toward peaceful rest. Familiar strides on the earth. Let us begin with something close to home: distance as you know it in daily life. You move through the world guided by the memory of steps taken and paths traveled. You understand, without thinking, what a kilometer feels like. A gentle 10 to 12 minute walk beneath trees, with time enough for a few passing thoughts. 1 kilometer fits naturally into the rhythm of your stride. 5 kilometers becomes a refreshing morning walk. 20 kilometers suggests a leisurely afternoon journey. Even 100 kilometers feels tangible as you sit in a car, watching towns and fields quietly drift past the window. These distances belong to human life. You can imagine them, anticipate them, and sense their weight. Even the earth itself, so immense beneath our feet, can be held within the mind. Its equator stretches about 40,000 kilometers, a vast number, yet one that ancient sailors once traced with wooden ships, and that modern aircraft can circle in less than 2 days. Our blue planet is large, yet still familiar, still within reach of human understanding. But the moment you lift your gaze beyond the Earth, when you step away from its surface, those comfortable measures begin to dissolve, and distance takes on an entirely new meaning: the collapse of intuition. As you lie here, gazing into the quiet night sky, the moon appears bright and familiar. So close it seems that, with a ladder long enough, you might almost reach out and touch it. Yet its true distance, 384,000 kilometers, lands in the mind like a word from a foreign language. You can pronounce the number, but you cannot truly feel it. There is no memory, no breath, no lived experience that allows your intuition to embrace such a scale. The reason is simple. Throughout our long evolution, our ancestors never encountered distances like this. By cosmic standards, the moon is our nearest neighbor, yet by human standards, it is unimaginably far away. When the Apollo astronauts journeyed toward it, they left behind every landscape the human mind was designed to understand. Their spacecraft traveled at 11 kilometers per second, so fast that in the span of a single heartbeat, it covered more ground than you might walk in an entire morning. And still, Even at that astonishing speed, they drifted through the silent dark for 3 full days before reaching the moon. When we look farther still, human intuition quietly gives up. The sun lies about 150 million kilometers from Earth. At this scale, the kilometer becomes fragile, almost meaningless. You can add zeros endlessly, but they never form a picture in the mind. We know the sun is distant, yet we cannot truly imagine how distant. This is where humility begins, where we recognize that while we are skilled at measuring, our intuition was shaped in a world far too small to grasp the depths of space. Light, the absolute ruler. When kilometers grow unwieldy and billions of units lose their meaning, astronomers turn to something that never changes: the speed of light. Light travels at 300,000 kilometers per second. Snap your fingers, and in that fleeting moment, light has already circled Earth's equator more than 7 times. Light is not merely fast. It moves at the maximum speed allowed by the universe itself. This is not a limitation of technology, but a boundary woven into the fabric of reality. Without it, cause and effect would unravel, and the universe would lose its quiet order. Because this speed is absolute and constant everywhere, light does more than illuminate the cosmos. It measures it. Each second of its journey becomes a ruler. Distances are no longer counted in footsteps or kilometers, but in light seconds, light minutes, and light hours. Once you accept this shift, the universe no longer feels like a cold list of numbers. Instead, it reveals itself as a landscape where time and distance are gently intertwined. Defining a light year. So what then is a light year? The name itself can be misleading, for it contains the word year. But remember, it is not a unit of time. It is a unit of distance. A light year is the distance light travels in 1 Julian year, 365.25 days. To find it, we multiply light's speed, 300,000 kilometers per second, by the number of seconds in a minute, minutes in an hour, hours in a day, and days in a year. The result is staggering, approximately 9.46 trillion kilometers. To sense the weight of the word trillion, imagine counting one number every second without rest. It would take you more than 31,700 years to reach 1 trillion, longer than the entire span of human civilization. And yet, light crosses 9.46 trillion kilometers every single year, endlessly, effortlessly, without ever slowing down. A light year is not just a number. It is a vast, silent expanse, where every passing second quietly fills 300,000 kilometers of space with light. Now, let that thought settle gently, and allow the silence of the cosmos to deepen your rest. Why do we need light years? You may be quietly wondering, why don't we simply keep using kilometers and add more zeros? The answer rests not in mathematics, but in the limits of the human mind. Using kilometers to describe the distance to stars is like using millimeters to measure the distance between nations. It is technically correct, yet utterly impractical. The numbers become so large that meaning slips away. If I told you that the nearest star, Proxima Centauri, lies about 40 trillion kilometers from Earth, the number would pass through your thoughts without leaving a trace. But when I say it is 4.24 light years away, something changes. A sense of scale appears. You immediately understand that a star 40 light years distant is roughly 10 times farther away. Light years give the mind something solid to hold on to. More profoundly, light years weave distance and time into a single, quiet truth. When you look at Proxima Centauri, you are not seeing it as it is now, but as it was more than 4 years ago. We never observe the universe in the present moment. We see only the lingering echoes of light, long after they have begun their journey. The farther we look, the deeper into the past we gaze. A galaxy 1 billion light years away is not a window into today. but a portrait of youth painted long before Earth even knew life. A miniature model to carry into sleep. To let this scale settle gently into your thoughts before sleep, imagine a simple model. If the distance from Earth to the Sun, 150 million kilometers, were reduced to just 1 inch, then a single light year in that same model would stretch to 1 full mile. Picture the Sun as a grapefruit resting quietly on a table before you. Earth would be a tiny grain of dust, barely a finger's width away. Pluto, at the edge of the solar system, would be only a few meters distant. Everything we call home would fit comfortably within a single room, but the nearest star, Proxima Centauri, would be another grapefruit, resting 4 miles away. And what lies between those two grapefruits? 6 kilometers of complete emptiness. No dust, no obstacles, just silence. The universe is not crowded. It is a collection of solitary islands of light scattered across an immense ocean of darkness, connected only by the most faithful travelers of all. Beams of light, crossing the void without rest. Your breath is now light, almost effortless. Feel the deep peace of this moment. Though the universe stretches across billions of light years, you are here, safe, held gently in Earth's embrace. The universe has spent 13.8 billion years unfolding so that a small part of it, you, could awaken, breathe, and quietly contemplate its beauty before drifting into sleep. Worries about tomorrow and echoes of yesterday dissolve into the stillness of eternal space. The magnetic field continues its silent vigil, and light from stars, billions of light years away, still glides softly through the night, standing guard over your rest. Completely relax your body. Let your mind drift like a faint cloud of planetary dust, suspended in the calm of the void, and sink into the most peaceful sleep, sheltered by the vast and patient history of creation. Think of tonight's sky as a soft blanket of black velvet, woven with ancient light, gently lulling you into beautiful dreams beneath an endless ocean of stars. The eternal measuring machines on Earth. Relax your shoulders and settle into the quiet. After Roemer, the pursuit of light did not rest. Other patient and determined minds carried the question forward, each adding another careful step. In 1728, the English astronomer James Bradley made an unexpected discovery. While observing the stars, he noticed that their positions shifted ever so slightly in the direction of Earth's motion. It reminded him of raindrops falling straight down, yet appearing to slant when you run through the rain. This subtle effect, known as stellar aberration, offered independent and more precise confirmation that light does not travel instantly. It has a finite speed. By the middle of the 19th century, the search descended from the heavens to the Earth itself. In 1849, Hippolyte Fizeau constructed an ingenious apparatus, a rapidly rotating toothed wheel and a mirror placed several kilometers away. Light passed through the gaps between the teeth, reflected off the distant mirror, and returned. By measuring how fast the wheel had to spin to block the returning beam, Fizeau calculated the speed of light with an error of only 5%. Soon after, Léon Foucault refined the method further by replacing the wheel with a rotating mirror, allowing the measurement to be performed within the quiet confines of a laboratory. The chase for light had become precise, controlled, and remarkably elegant. Then came Albert Michelson, a man who devoted much of his life to perfecting this measurement. Using vacuum tubes and extraordinarily precise optical instruments, he narrowed the uncertainty to an astonishing degree. His dedication was recognized with the Nobel Prize in Physics in 1907. Thanks to these careful and relentless efforts, humanity arrived at a final value, 299,792,458 meters per second. This number became so fundamental that in 1983, the world chose to redefine the meter itself using the speed of light. From that moment on, light was no longer measured by our units. Our units were defined by light. Friedrich Bessel, and the moment the light year took form. Now, allow your thoughts to drift back to the year 1838. This was the moment when the idea of the light year began to take physical shape. The German astronomer Friedrich Bessel achieved something no one had done before. He measured the distance to a star beyond our sun, 61 Tygni. Using the method of parallax, he observed the star's tiny shifts in position as Earth moved from one side of its orbit to the other. From these delicate measurements, Bessel concluded that 61 Cygni lay about 660,000 times farther away than the distance between Earth and the Sun. Sensing that such a number would overwhelm the human mind, he offered a gentler expression. Light takes 10.3 years to travel from that star to our eyes. Though Bessel himself hesitated to adopt this idea as a formal unit, the seed had been planted. Measuring space through time felt natural, almost inevitable. In 1851, the term light year appeared for the first time in a popular astronomy paper by Otto Uhle. To help readers understand its strangeness, Uhle compared it to a walking hour, a familiar way of measuring distance in Germany at the time. What began as an unusual idea slowly became essential. The light year transformed from a curiosity into the steady pulse by which the universe could finally be understood. The Einstein revolution, when light became the backbone of reality. Your breathing is slow now, deep and unhurried. We step into the 20th century, where Albert Einstein reshaped our understanding of reality itself. Before Einstein, most people believed in an absolute world, one where space and time were fixed and unchanging. Einstein revealed something far more subtle. The speed of light is the only true constant. He showed us that light is not merely fast, it is the ultimate speed limit of the universe. No object with mass can ever reach or exceed it, because doing so would require infinite energy. Light is not just a messenger racing through space. It is the thread that holds space and time together. From this realization came a quiet, astonishing truth. Time itself is flexible. To preserve the constant speed of light for all observers, time must slow down for those in motion. This is not philosophy or metaphor. It has been confirmed by atomic clocks aboard airplanes and GPS satellites circling Earth. Light now does more than measure distance. It governs the flow of time itself. We live in a universe where light is the supreme reference, silently ruling every event, from the first moment of creation to this gentle breath you take tonight. Edwin Hubble and the expansion of our horizons. As your eyelids grow heavy, let us pause for another quiet milestone in human understanding. In the 1920s, high atop Mount Wilson Observatory, Edwin Hubble turned his attention to the faint smudges of light scattered across the sky. Using Cepheid variable stars, the reliable cosmic rulers first uncovered by Henrietta Swan Leavitt, he began to measure the distances to faraway galaxies. What he discovered was deeply unsettling, yet profoundly beautiful. The universe was not still, as even Einstein had once believed. Every galaxy was moving away from us, and the farther a galaxy lay, the faster it was receding. This simple but powerful relationship became known as Hubble's Law, the first cornerstone of what we now call the Big Bang Theory. As these galaxies raced outward, their light was stretched along the way, shifting toward red wavelengths in a phenomenon we call redshift. By listening to these faint reddened messengers, humanity came to understand something extraordinary. Space itself is expanding, moment by moment. Our vision widened from a single, isolated Milky Way to a vast cosmic ocean filled with trillions of islands of light, all tracing their origins back to a radiant beginning 13.8 billion years ago. Your breathing is now featherlight. Feel the calm settle in. The great minds we have encountered tonight left behind more than equations and measurements. They left a legacy of patience, courage, and hope. They showed us that even a small species on a small planet can reach across unimaginable distances through curiosity and devotion to truth. Picture these scientists as children in a darkened room, gently tracing the edges of a massive puzzle. The full image is not yet revealed, but their steady heartbeats are like candles, quietly warming the vast night as understanding slowly takes shape. Night travelers, are you still with us? Still by this warm fire? If your eyes remain open, let the gentle heat carry your thoughts outward. Imagine us seated together beside a wide, open window late at night. The cool air brushes your skin, and beyond the glass, the city has fallen silent. All that remains is a deep, velvety darkness, embroidered with countless pinpricks of light from distant galaxies. Now, allow your body to fully release. Feel the pillow supporting you, as though you were resting on a soft cloud drifting through the Milky Way. Take a slow, deep breath, drawing the stillness of the night into your lungs, and exhale gently, letting the weight of the day dissolve. Tonight, we set aside the solid world and open a different kind of window, a window into the past, where light itself becomes our guide, leading us back toward the dawn of creation. Welcome to the Window to the Past, Applications and Impact. Let these thoughts cradle your dreams, guiding you into a quiet state of reflection before sleep finally claims you. The mirror of time. Let your breathing become steady, unhurried, like the patient rhythm of photons traveling across centuries to reach you now. Every time you gaze at the night sky, you are never seeing the universe as it is now. Light, our most faithful messenger, travels at about 300,000 kilometers per second, a speed that nothing with mass can ever exceed. Because of this gentle delay, every distance in space is also a step backward in time. Look up at the calm moon. The image you see is already 1.3 seconds old. The sunlight that warmed your skin this morning began its journey from the sun, 8 minutes and 20 seconds earlier. If the sun were to vanish in an instant, its light would still bathe Earth for those final minutes before darkness arrived. Lift your gaze farther, toward the stars. You are reading the universe's ancient diary, page by page. Sirius, the brightest star in our sky, speaks to you from 8.6 years ago. Vega carries a message from 25 years in the past. And Polaris, the steadfast North Star, reaches your eyes as it was in the late 16th century, when empires rose and fell beneath skies much like this one. Space is not a frozen painting. It is a vast museum of time where every point of light is a preserved fossil. History carried gently to you on waves of photons, whispering across the ages as you drift towards sleep. The Andromeda Galaxy and fossils of light. Relax your shoulders. Allow the stillness to settle in. Now, gently turn your thoughts toward the Andromeda Galaxy, the most magnificent neighbor of our Milky Way. On the darkest, clearest nights, its pale glow can be seen with the naked eye. Yet the light reaching your eyes tonight began its journey 2.5 million years ago. When those tiny particles of light first departed their distant home, the ancestors of humankind were just beginning to walk upright on the African savannas. They had no language, no memory of history, no awareness of civilization. In truth, we do not know what Andromeda looks like now. To witness its present face, our descendants would need to wait another 2.5 million years. Everything we observe in deep space is a kind of slow-moving news. Galaxies billions of light years away are not scenes of the present, but portraits of youth, captured near the dawn of creation. Through the language of light years, astronomers are able to reconstruct the universe's long story, simply by looking deeper into the darkness. The farther we peer, the closer we come to the Big Bang itself, the moment when space and time first began to take form. The bubble of perception, the visible universe. Now, let your body relax completely. Imagine yourself resting at the center of a vast, transparent sphere, the visible universe. This sphere marks the boundary of all that humanity can observe. Although the universe is 13.8 billion years old, we are able to see objects as far away as approximately 46.5 billion light years. At first, this seems impossible. How can we see farther than the universe has existed? The answer lies in the quiet miracle of cosmic expansion. As light travels toward us, the fabric of space beneath it is also stretching. Like a runner on a track that lengthens beneath each step, the total distance traveled by light becomes far greater than where it began. As a result, everything we can observe today forms a sphere nearly 93 billion light-years across. Beyond that boundary lies a region whose light simply has not yet had time to reach Earth. We live within an oasis of information, surrounded by a horizon of time itself, one that expands, second by second, welcoming new messengers from the distant past. The firewall and the childhood picture, the CMB. Take a slow, deep breath. Have you ever wondered what exists at the very edge of that vision? Is it endless darkness? No, it is something far more ancient and luminous, the cosmic microwave background, or CMB. Around 380,000 years after the Big Bang, the universe was a vastly different place. It was a dense, scorching sea of charged particles where light could not move freely. Photons were trapped, endlessly scattering off free electrons like a traveler lost in a thick, blazing fog. Then, as the universe cooled, electrons bonded with atomic nuclei to form neutral atoms. In that moment, the fog lifted. Light was finally free to journey across space. That ancient light still surrounds us today, stretched into microwaves by the expansion of the universe. It is the universe's childhood photograph, visible in every direction we look. This glowing wall of time prevents us from seeing further with light, because before it, the universe itself was opaque. Within its subtle patterns lie tiny density variations, the seeds from which galaxies and stars would one day grow. The great isolation and the paradox of the search. Your breathing is now slow, deep. A light year is more than a unit of distance. It is a quiet reminder of our profound isolation in the cosmos. The distances between stars and galaxies are so immense that communication between civilizations becomes nearly impossible. If a civilization existed in a galaxy 1,000 light years away, its message would take 1,000 years to reach us, and another 1,000 years for a reply to return. By then, that civilization may no longer exist. Every signal across space is a form of information archaeology. We are not conversing with contemporaries, but exchanging fragments of memory across vast oceans of time. This separation helps explain why we seem alone among billions of stars. The universe may be rich with life, yet those living islands are scattered so far apart that each species becomes a solitary lighthouse keeper on a dark shore, sending beams of light into the night, never knowing if another watcher stands somewhere beyond the horizon. And yet, it is precisely this solitude that makes your existence tonight so precious, so rare, and so deeply sacred. Thinking stardust, the meaning of observation. Now, gently feel your own warmth. You are not merely living within the universe, you are a part of the universe, quietly seeking to understand itself. Every atom that forms your body, the iron flowing through your blood, the calcium shaping your bones, the oxygen filling your breath, was forged in the fiery hearts of stars that disappeared billions of years ago. Those atoms traveled across immense stretches of space, through violent supernova explosions, before finally coming together to become you tonight. You are thinking stardust, the universe's way of seeing, questioning, and loving itself through awareness and emotion. When you gaze into the universe's past through the window of light, you are, in truth, searching for your own origins. Every act of exploration, every telescope humanity builds, is an outstretched arm reaching back to touch the history that formed us. Though the universe is vast and filled with mystery, you lie here now, safe in the quiet embrace of Earth, carrying within you the legacy of 13.8 billion years of creation. Your breath is now light. Feel the absolute peace of this moment. The universe has spent billions of years preparing for tonight, so that a small part of it, you, can awaken, breathe, and quietly contemplate its beauty before drifting into sleep. Worries about tomorrow and regrets about yesterday gently dissolve into the stillness of eternal space. Light that began its journey billions of years ago glides softly through the darkness, standing watch as you rest. Allow your body to fully relax. Let your mind become as light as a cloud of planetary dust, drifting toward the memories of the primordial beginning. Sink into the deepest, most peaceful sleep, sheltered by the majestic history of creation and the enduring achievements of humankind. Imagine tonight's sky as a soft blanket of black velvet, woven with ancient light, gently carrying you into the most beautiful dreams amid a vast ocean of stars. When you look up at the shimmering velvet darkness above, you may feel as though you are touching eternity. And yet, that eternity is measured by an invisible ruler, the light year. In daily life, we understand distance through familiar steps and kilometers, where a single kilometer takes only 10 or 12 minutes of an easy walk. But the moment we leave Earth's surface, the kilometer becomes astonishingly small. Speaking of distances between stars and kilometers is like using millimeters to measure the span between nations, mathematically possible, yet completely beyond human intuition. A light year, despite its name, is not a measure of time, but a vast landscape of space. It spans approximately 9.46 trillion kilometers, a number so immense that counting 1 unit per second would require more than 31,700 years, longer than the entirety of human civilization. Astronomy has compelled us to set aside our ancestral rulers and adopt the universe's own rhythm, the speed of light. The birth of this measure is itself a quiet epic of curiosity. For centuries, humanity believed light traveled instantaneously. Then, in 1676, Ola Romer observed subtle delays in the eclipses of Jupiter's moon Io and realized that light is a traveler. It needs time to cross the cosmic ocean. In 1838, Friedrich Bessel measured the distance to the star 61 Cygni and noted that its light takes 10.3 years to reach Earth, giving physical meaning to the idea of a light year. Later, Albert Einstein completed this transformation by revealing that the speed of light is the ultimate limit of the universe, a thread that weaves together space and time itself. Because light moves at a finite speed, the universe becomes a vast archive of memory. We never see it as it is now, only as it once was. Every observation is an act of cosmic archaeology, uncovering fossils of light from the distant past. When you look at the Andromeda Galaxy, you are seeing it as it appeared 2.5 million years ago, when our ancestors were just beginning to walk the open grasslands. Through light years, humanity has learned to see through time itself, reaching all the way back to the cosmic microwave background, the universe's childhood portrait, preserved from 13.8 billion years ago. And tonight, as you rest beneath that ancient light, you are part of that story, both observer and origin, memory and meaning, stardust quietly dreaming. Sometimes you may sense that light years carry within them a quiet melancholy, a profound solitude written into the fabric of space. Within the visible universe, stretching across 93 billion light years and containing trillions of galaxies, the possibility of other civilizations is vast. And yet, those very light years become walls of time, silently separating us from one another. A message sent across the stars may take thousands of years to arrive, and by the time a reply returns, the civilization that sent the first greeting may have already faded into silence. Every attempt at communication across space becomes a form of informational archaeology, fragments of memory exchanged between souls, divided by oceans of time. And yet, it is precisely this separation that renders our existence so deeply sacred. Each of us is awakened stardust, carrying elements forged in the blazing hearts of stars that vanished billions of years ago. We belong to a universe that is slowly, patiently trying to understand itself through thought and feeling. Though it remains filled with unanswered mysteries, dark matter, dark energy, and countless unknowns, the mere fact that we can measure such immense distances stands as a quiet testament to the extraordinary reach of the human spirit. The universe is like a vast mosaic museum, with light as its unbroken thread. Every star you see tonight is not simply a point of brightness, but a page from an ancient diary of creation, gently telling the story of where we began. Night travelers, are you still awake? If you have already drifted into sleep, that is a beautiful thing. But if you are still here, allow your gaze to rest upon this imagined bonfire. Picture yourself lying on a soft, quiet beach where the waves arrive and retreat like the slow, steady rhythm of breath. Above you, the night sky is no longer a dark ceiling, but a boundless ocean filled with distant islands of light. You feel lighter now, as if gravity itself has softened its hold, allowing your thoughts to wander freely through the mist of time. Now completely relax your body. Feel the gentle support beneath you. Inhale slowly, drawing the purity of space into your lungs. And exhale just as gently, releasing every concern about what must be done or who you must become. Tonight, we will leave behind dry numbers and rigid calculations. Instead, we open a quiet window to the past, where light becomes our faithful guide, leading us back toward the dawn of creation, to glimpse what has been, what is yet to come, and what endures beyond all change. Welcome to the window to the past, distant stars and galaxies. Let your breath move in harmony with the flow of light, and allow the love song of ancient traces to carry you into the deepest, most peaceful sleep. Light, the patient messenger from the past. To understand this window into the past, we must first become reacquainted with light itself. In daily life, light feels instantaneous. You switch it on, and the room brightens at once. But in the vast cosmic ocean, light is a patient traveler, moving at a finite speed of 299,792,458 meters per second. Even as the fastest entity in the universe, light still requires time to cross the immense distances between stars. Because of this quiet delay, every time you look up at the sky, you are never seeing the universe as it is now. Light carries information, and that information is always a memory. The greater the distance, the older the story it tells. The universe is not a frozen image. It is a vast mosaic of different eras, where each point of light is a fossil of time, preserved within photons. You live slightly out of step with the universe around you. Your present is the past of the stars, and the present of those stars is something our descendants will not witness for thousands of years. And tonight, as you rest beneath this ancient light, you are quietly participating in that timeless exchange, the close souls of the solar system. Let your mind wander and rest your gaze upon the gentle moon. The image you see at this very moment is only 1.3 seconds old, a whisper that has barely had time to fade. Now, turn your attention a little farther toward the sun, the quiet source of all earthly warmth. The sunlight resting on your skin tonight left the sun's surface 8 minutes and 20 seconds ago. If the sun were to vanish this instant, we would still see its glow and feel its warmth for another 8 minutes, living briefly in a tender illusion before darkness finally arrived. As your thoughts drift outward to the more distant planets, time begins to stretch and loosen its grip. Saturn, adorned with its magnificent rings, lies about 1.2 light-hours away. When the Cassini spacecraft photographed the storms swirling around that distant world, scientists on Earth waited more than an hour to receive the signal. Every command sent, every image returned, must cross a vast, silent corridor of time. At the outer edge of our solar system, Pluto resides more than 5.5 light-hours away. Each time we look in that direction, we are seeing those frozen worlds as they were nearly half a day ago. Immense as our solar system feels to us, it remains only a brief prelude in the long epic of cosmic time, our nearest neighbor and the dazzling ghosts. Relax your shoulders. Feel the stillness deepen. Now gently step beyond our familiar home and into the realm of the stars. Our closest stellar neighbor, Proxima Centauri, lies 4.24 light-years away. The light reaching your eyes tonight began its journey when you were perhaps entering a new chapter of your own life, 4 years ago. If that star were to fade this very moment, its light would continue to visit our skies for 4 more years, like a quiet ghost, unaware that it has already disappeared. Turn your eyes to Sirius, the brightest star in the night sky, shining from a distance of 8.6 light-years. You are seeing it as it was nearly a decade ago. And then there is Betelgeuse, the immense red giant in the constellation of Orion, about 550 light-years away. The light touching your eyes tonight began its journey during the time of the Renaissance, before Columbus ever set sail. There is a quiet possibility that Betelgeuse has already ended its life in a brilliant supernova centuries ago, but the news is still traveling toward us. For now, it continues to glow gently in our sky, like an old diary page that has not yet reached its final line. Andromeda, a meeting with humanity's earliest dawn. When your mind becomes calm enough to look beyond the veil of the Milky Way, you may notice a faint, delicate smudge of light containing billions of suns, the Andromeda Galaxy. At a distance of 2.5 million light-years, it is the farthest object the human eye can see without any instrument. At the moment those particles of light left Andromeda to reach you tonight, our ancestors were still primitive beings, learning to walk upright across the African grasslands. They may have gazed at the same sky, unaware that they were witnessing the beginning of a message that would reach us only now. What we see tonight is a letter sent from the Stone Age of humanity. We truly do not know what Andromeda looks like at this very moment. All our observations are acts of light archaeology. To discover its present face, our descendants will have to wait another 2.5 million years. Rest with that thought, and allow the ancient light to gently carry you deeper into the calm of the night. Cosmic Dawn, James Webb and the Little Red Dots. Take a deep breath and allow your thoughts to drift gently backward in time. Thanks to the quiet golden eyes of the James Webb Space Telescope, we are now able to peer into the deepest chapters of the universe's memory. Webb sees through the veils of cosmic dust, revealing the era known as the Cosmic Dawn, the moment when the very first stars and galaxies began to shine. Among its most intriguing discoveries are the so-called little red dots, tiny faint points of reddish light, modest in appearance yet rich with mystery. One of them, known as Canucks LRDZ 8.6, offers us a glimpse of the universe just 570 million years after the Big Bang. What has astonished scientists is what lies within these young galaxies. Supermassive black holes growing at an astonishing pace, far faster than existing theories would predict. They appear to be forming more rapidly than the galaxies that surround them. As we observe these small red embers in the darkness, we are witnessing the earliest seeds of future quasars, the brilliant cosmic lighthouses that will one day dominate the universe. In the silence of that primordial night, the first great lights were already learning how to burn. The wall of the last light, CMB, now completely relax your body. And imagine yourself resting at the center of a vast sphere of awareness, known as the visible universe. This sphere marks the boundary of all that we can observe and know. Although the universe is about 13.8 billion years old, the expansion of space allows us to see objects that now lie as far as 46.5 billion light-years away. At the outermost edge of this vision, we encounter a final ancient glow, the cosmic microwave background. Travel back in your thoughts to about 380,000 years after the Big Bang. The universe then was a dense, searing ocean of charged particles, where light could not travel freely, trapped like a wanderer lost in a burning fog. But as the universe cooled and atoms finally formed, that fog slowly cleared. In that moment, light was released for the first time, free to journey across the cosmos. That same light still surrounds us today, stretched by cosmic expansion into faint, cold microwaves. The CMB is the universe's childhood portrait, visible in every direction, a gentle but unyielding horizon of time. Beyond it, light cannot carry stories, because the universe itself had not yet learned how to speak through light. The horizon of forgetfulness. Your breath now becomes slow and deep. The universe does not only reveal the past, it also conceals the present. As space expands faster and faster under the influence of dark energy, some regions of the cosmos are retreating from us more rapidly than light itself can travel. This creates what we call a cosmic event horizon. Galaxies beyond that boundary will gradually vanish from our sight forever. Their light will never reach Earth, no matter how long we wait. We are living in a fleeting and precious era, when the window to the past remains open, before expansion quietly carries those distant secrets beyond all reach, leaving a colder and emptier universe in the far future. Your breath is now soft, almost weightless. Feel the peace of this moment. Though the universe stretches across billions of light years and is filled with gentle echoes of the past, you are here, safe within Earth's atmosphere, held by its quiet protection. Completely relax your body. Let your mind drift like a fine cloud of planetary dust, floating through the calmest reaches of space. Allow yourself to sink into a deep, peaceful sleep under the shelter of the universe's long and magnificent history. The universe is like a vast mosaic museum, with light as its connecting thread. Each star you see tonight is not merely a point of brightness, but a preserved page from the diary of creation, patiently telling the story of where we began. Think of the night sky as a great book of time, written in ancient light. Each star a gentle word, softly guiding you into the most beautiful dreams, adrift in the endless ocean of stars. Standing beneath the shimmering, velvety black of the night sky, you may find yourself quietly wondering, are you gazing into space, or are you gently drifting through the ancient pages of time itself? There is something subtly unsettling about the term light year, a unit that sounds like time, yet is used to measure distances so vast they defy human intuition. In our everyday lives, a year is woven from memories, aging, and the turning of seasons. But in the boundless ocean of the universe, a light year is a silent, endless landscape, stretching across 9.46 trillion kilometers. To grasp the weight of that number, imagine counting just one number every second. It would take more than 31,700 years, longer than the entire history of human civilization, merely to reach 1 trillion. Suddenly, the scale of the cosmos no longer fits comfortably within the rhythm of a human life. This immense gap between the heartbeat of humanity and the stride of light has transformed the universe into a vast and natural time machine. Each time you lift your eyes to the sky, you are never seeing things as they are now. The warm sunlight resting on your skin is already a message from the past, having left the sun 8 minutes and 20 seconds earlier. If the sun were to vanish this instant, you would still live within its illusion of light for a few more minutes before darkness truly arrived. Look farther still, to the Andromeda Galaxy, The faint glow you see tonight began its journey 2.5 million years ago, at a time when our ancestors were only just learning to walk upright on the African savannas. The greater the distance, the older the image, until the night sky itself becomes a grand mosaic museum, each point of light a fossil preserved by time. When you reflect on humanity's efforts to reach outward, a gentle sadness often mingles with quiet pride. We have sent our most enduring messengers into the dark, among them Voyager 1. For nearly 50 years, it has traveled faster than any bullet, tirelessly crossing the void. Yet it has not even completed a single light day. To traverse one full light year, Voyager would need another 17,500 years. Against the backdrop of a visible universe spanning 93 billion light years, our achievements are no more than a grain of dust in an infinite sea. We live within an information bubble, bounded by the speed of light. Messages sent across thousands of light years become acts of cosmic archaeology. By the time an answer returns, the voice that spoke may already have faded into silence. And yet, our physical smallness does not diminish the dignity of the human spirit. Though we live on a single, fragile blue dot, we belong to a universe that has awakened to self-awareness. The iron in your blood and the calcium in your bones were forged in the blazing cores of stars that died billions of years ago. We are thinking stardust, using consciousness to reach across oceans of time and space. Even if dark energy continues to drive the universe apart, one day pushing all distant galaxies beyond our sight and leaving behind a cold, empty cosmos, one truth will remain. We were here. We stood beneath the stars, measured eternity, and dared to ask questions of the darkness. That, in itself, is one of the quiet miracles of creation. The universe is like a vast river of time, and we are travelers on a small raft. We cannot paddle against the current to return to the source, but with patient eyes and open hearts, we can read the ripples of the past, sense the beauty of infinity, and discover our place, small yet meaningful, within the great symphony of space and time. Night travelers, those of you still awake, imagine that we are sitting together in a simple wooden canoe, drifting slowly across a calm, mirror-like lake on a moonless night. The surrounding darkness is not cold, but gently warm, as though the universe itself has wrapped you in a soft blanket of black velvet. The quiet sound of water touching the sides of the canoe beats steadily, like the pulse of creation, while above us the Milky Way glows like a river of diamonds, whispering its oldest stories. Now, allow your body to relax completely. Feel each muscle soften in rhythm with the gentle movement of the water. Breathe in deeply, drawing the breath of eternity into your lungs, and exhale slowly, releasing every small concern of the waking world. Tonight, we will not speak of what can be touched or measured by hand. Instead, we will listen together to the call from behind the sky, a quiet reflection on humanity's journey as it stepped beyond its cradle, Earth, and faced the breathtaking vastness of light years. Welcome to the call from behind the sky, history and reality. Let your heartbeat align with the rhythm of the universe and allow yourself to drift into a deep, peaceful, and quietly proud sleep. Awakened stardust. Before we speak of ships forged from steel and fire, allow me to gently remind you of a comforting truth. You are children of the stars. Every atom that forms your being, from the iron flowing quietly through your crimson blood, to the calcium giving strength to your bones, to the oxygen carried softly with each breath, was born in the blazing hearts of colossal stars that lived and died billions of years ago. When those stars reached the end of their lives in magnificent supernova, they scattered the essential elements of life across the cosmos. In this way, we are awakened stardust. After 13.8 billion years of wandering through darkness and light, a small part of the universe has become you, has become me, and has learned to pause and reflect. The call from beyond the sky, then, is not the voice of some distant realm. It is an echo of our own beginning, quietly inviting us to remember our place in the great ocean of stars. The first spark in the long night. Humanity's journey into the darkness began modestly, yet carried immense hope. Let your thoughts drift back to the middle of the 20th century, a time when Earth itself was divided by tension and rivalry. And yet, from that rivalry, the first spark of the space age was born. On October 4th, 1957, a small object weighing just 83 kilograms, Sputnik 1, was placed into orbit by the Soviet Union. Its simple, rhythmic beep-beep echoed across the world, announcing for the first time that a human-made object had escaped Earth's grasp and entered the heavens. A few years later, in the spring of 1961, Yuri Gagarin became the first human to look back at our planet from space, seeing Earth not as a battlefield of borders, but as a fragile, luminous blue sphere suspended in darkness. Those early moments planted a powerful belief within us that humanity was not forever confined beneath the sky. The peak of that belief came with the Apollo missions. On July 20th, 1969, Neil Armstrong placed the first human footprints upon the moon's silent surface. In a place untouched by wind or rain, those impressions may remain for millions of years, quiet witnesses to human curiosity and courage. The ruler of eternity. Yet as the glow of the moon faded from daily headlines, a deeper realization settled in. The universe is so vast that our familiar measures lose their meaning. Kilometers, the units of roads, journeys, and continents, shrink to insignificance, like grains of sand scattered across an endless desert. To measure such immensity, science turns to the one constant that never changes: the speed of light. Light travels at nearly 300,000 kilometers per second. In the blink of an eye, it can circle Earth more than 7 times. Over the course of a year, it covers a distance of about 9.46 trillion kilometers, a distance we call a light year. Relax your shoulders and let that number settle in. If you were to count one number every second, it would take more than 31,700 years just to reach a trillion. Yet light crosses nearly 10 trillion kilometers each year, endlessly, without rest. When we speak of a star 4 light years away, we are not speaking only of space, but of time. Light is a messenger carrying information, but it obeys the universe's ultimate speed limit. We never see the cosmos as it is now, only as it once was, preserved in ancient light. The Solitary Traveler, Voyager 1. Let your breath drift outward with Voyager 1, the most distant messenger humanity has ever released into the dark. Launched in 1977, Voyager 1 has traveled tirelessly for nearly half a century, moving faster than any bullet ever fired. It passed the majestic rings of Saturn and turned its camera back toward Earth, revealing our home as a solitary, pale blue dot floating in a vast black sea. And yet, the reality is humbling. After 50 years of unwavering motion, Voyager 1 has traveled only about 22 to 24 light hours. To complete a single light year, it will require another 17,500 years. To reach the nearest star, Proxima Centauri, just 4.24 light years away, it must drift through space for more than 73,000 years. We live within an information oasis, enclosed by the same speed limit that governs all of nature. Voyager 1 is like a message sealed in a bottle, released into a cosmic ocean. It carries greetings in 55 languages, along with the music of humanity. But it may wander forever, never knowing whether another shore will ever be reached. The Fermi Paradox. Where is everyone? The immensity of light years leads us gently toward one of humanity's most enduring questions, the Fermi Paradox. With hundreds of billions of stars in our Milky Way and trillions of galaxies spread across a visible universe nearly 93 billion light-years wide, The possibility of other civilizations seems overwhelming. And yet, the night remains silent. Why have we never heard a single whisper in return? Perhaps the answer lies in the unforgiving nature of space itself. A message sent from a world just 1,000 light years away would need 1,000 years to arrive, and another 1,000 for a reply. Civilizations may be like brief sparks in a vast darkness, flaring brightly for a moment, then fading before their light can ever reach another flame. Intelligent beings may not travel the stars at all, simply because interstellar journeys are too costly, too perilous for any finite form of life. Earth's shield and the fragility of life. Now, feel the quiet warmth of your own bed. While we dream of distant stars, we remain protected by a nearly perfect sanctuary, Earth. Our planet offers a breathable atmosphere and a powerful magnetic field, quietly deflecting violent solar winds and lethal cosmic radiation. Beyond this shelter, space is far from gentle. The vacuum can destroy unprotected life in moments, and relentless radiation can unravel the very structure of living cells. To cross light years, humanity will require more than faster engines. It will need unprecedented shields to guard its fragile presence against the constant assault of the interstellar medium. Your breath is now light, unhurried. Feel the deep calm of this moment. No matter how vast the universe becomes, no matter how many billions of light years stretch between us and the stars, your gaze reaches only into their past. And here, in the present, you are safe, held quietly in Earth's embrace. Allow your body to fully relax. Let your thoughts become as light as a grain of stardust drifting through the calmest, flattest region of space. Drift gently into rest, sheltered by the long and magnificent history of creation. Think of tonight's sky as a great diary of time, where every star is an ancient yet tender word, softly guiding you toward the most peaceful dreams within a boundless ocean of light. Here is a final image to carry with you into sleep. If the distance from Earth to the Sun were reduced to a single inch, then a light year would stretch to 1 full mile. In that scale, the entire history of humanity becomes a single breath, and Voyager 1 has only just begun its journey. Let this vastness ease your heart. Even in our smallness, we find connection, bound together by the most patient and enduring threads of light. Night travelers. Night travelers, turn your gaze toward our warm campfire. Imagine us gathered in a quiet research station of the distant future, a place where wide windows overlook a shimmering, endless sea of stars. Outside, a gentle rain of electromagnetic waves brushes the hull of a spacecraft, forming a steady, soothing rhythm that calms the mind. Now, let your body completely relax. Feel the gentle support beneath you. Draw a deep breath, welcoming the vastness of the universe into your chest, and exhale slowly, allowing the small concerns of daily life to dissolve into silence. Tonight, we will not speak of humanity's achievements on Earth. Instead, we will reflect on chasing the speed of light, our bold and timeless desire to cross the barrier of light years and face the silent walls the universe has placed before us. Welcome to Chase the Speed of Light. Let your heartbeat align with the quiet rhythm of the cosmos and drift into a deep, restful, and dignified sleep. Fragile sails in the dark ocean. Humanity's journey into the darkness began with a sobering realization. The universe is so vast that our familiar measures suddenly lose their meaning. Our nearest stellar neighbor, Proxima Centauri, lies 4.24 light-years away. To grasp this distance, consider Voyager 1, humanity's most enduring messenger. After nearly half a century of tireless flight, moving faster than any bullet ever fired, it has traveled only about 1 light day. To reach Proxima Centauri, Voyager 1 would still need another 73,000 years. This reality forces a difficult truth upon us. If we are ever to reach the stars, we must leave behind traditional chemical engines and begin to pursue a fraction of the speed of light itself. One of the boldest ideas of our time is the breakthrough Starshot program. Imagine spacecraft no larger than a computer chip, each attached to an ultra-thin sail. From Earth, an immense array of lasers, delivering up to 100 gigawatts of power, would push these sails forward with concentrated beams of light, accelerating them to 20% of light speed. At such a velocity, the nearest star could be reached in roughly 20 years, brief enough to fit within a single human lifetime. The wall of matter, when stardust becomes bullets. Now, breathe evenly, slowly, and allow your thoughts to meet the first great wall the universe has raised before us, the interstellar medium. We often imagine space as empty, but it is quietly filled with gas and fine dust. At ordinary speeds, these particles pose little danger. At relativistic speeds, they become lethal. When a spacecraft travels at 60,000 kilometers per second, a dust grain only 1 millimeter wide strikes with the energy of hundreds of millions of joules, enough to vaporize a vessel in an instant. Even the lightest atoms, hydrogen and helium, relentlessly bombard the hull, heating it continuously. Heavier elements, such as oxygen or iron, carve permanent scars, eroding roughly 1 millimeter of material over a 4 light-year journey. Survival demands protection. One practical design envisions a long, narrow craft with a thick, sacrificial shield at its front, minimizing the exposed surface. Yet here the universe reveals a cruel paradox. The thicker the shield, the greater the mass. The greater the mass, the harder it becomes to accelerate toward light speed. We are caught between the need to endure and the desire to move swiftly. The radiation wall, the silent killer. Completely relax your body and feel the quiet safety provided by Earth's atmosphere. Beyond it lies the second wall, radiation. At extreme speeds, even ordinary hydrogen atoms are stripped of their electrons, transforming into high-energy protons. Without sufficient shielding, travelers would face radiation levels comparable to standing at the heart of a nuclear reactor, fatal in moments. Even thick titanium shells or meters-deep water barriers offer limited comfort against cosmic rays, energetic particles born from supernovae and black holes that strike from every direction. At speeds approaching 90% of light, these rays compress toward the front of the craft, allowing focused shielding. At slower velocities, however, protection must surround the entire vessel, adding enormous weight and placing impossible demands on propulsion. It is as though the universe itself is reminding us how delicate life truly is, and how tightly it is bound to its cradle. The wall of time, Einstein's quiet curse. Now, feel the steady warmth of your heartbeat. Light is not only a ruler of distance, it is also the gatekeeper of time. Albert Einstein revealed a truth both beautiful and unsettling. As speed increases, time itself slows down. This phenomenon is known as time dilation. Imagine an astronaut journeying to a star 50 light-years away at nearly the speed of light. For him, the voyage may last only a few years, yet upon his return, a full century would have passed on Earth. He would step into a world where friends and loved ones are long gone, and history has moved on without him. Interstellar travelers would become living relics of the past, severed from the shared timeline of their own species. This is a wall no engine can dismantle, a psychological and social barrier that reminds us that space does not merely challenge our technology, but also our humanity. The wall of logic, the paradox of waiting. Your breath is now slow, deep. Beyond walls of matter and time, humanity encounters a quieter, more elusive barrier, one built entirely of logic. It is known as Andrew Kennedy's weight calculation. Imagine this. If we launch a spacecraft with today's technology, its journey to the stars may take 1,000 years. Yet a century later, our descendants might invent an engine 10 times faster. That newer vessel would inevitably overtake the earlier one, arriving centuries ahead. The pioneers who accepted hardship and uncertainty would finally reach their destination, only to discover a world already settled by their own descendants, people who endured none of the long solitude or sacrifice. From this arises an invisible pressure, a lingering hesitation. Should we go now, or should we wait? This logic of waiting has a paralyzing effect. Every planned mission is quietly postponed by the hope of a better future technology. In this way, the dream of reaching the stars risks dissolving into an endless series of delays, where progress is measured not by distance traveled, but by patience stretched thin. Doors of hope, bending reality. As your eyelids grow heavy, let us gently turn toward the most daring ideas humanity has conceived, visions that attempt not to break the universe's laws, but to step around them. One such idea is the Alcubierre warp drive. Instead of pushing a spacecraft through space, this concept proposes reshaping space itself. Space in front of the vessel would contract, while space behind it would expand. Within this warp bubble, the spacecraft would rest calmly, untouched by inertia or time dilation, even as the surrounding fabric of space-time carries it across immense distances. Beyond even that lies another dream: wormholes, shortcuts through the universe's structure. Imagine space as a vast sheet of paper. Rather than crossing its entire surface, we fold it and create a tunnel between two distant points. A single step through such a passage could carry us to another galaxy millions of light years away in an instant. To keep such a doorway open, however, would require exotic matter with negative energy, something that, for now, exists only in equations and imagination. Your breath is now very light. Feel the absolute peace of this moment. Though humanity stands before towering walls of physics, time, and logic, the simple fact that we dare to dream remains extraordinary. We dared to calculate. We dared to imagine. We dared to send small, fragile messengers like Voyager into the dark. Completely relax your body. Let your mind drift like a single grain of stardust in the calmest region of space. Sink gently into sleep, sheltered by the long history of creation and humanity's quiet determination to reach beyond its cradle. Think of our efforts as a lone candle burning inside an immense cavern. It does not yet illuminate every corner, but its warmth is proof that humanity exists and that its aspirations have not gone out. Now imagine us floating together inside a transparent glass cocoon, drifting at the edge of Earth's atmosphere, where the soft blue curve of our planet meets the profound black stillness of space. Below, Earth glows like a precious jewel. Yet tonight, our thoughts are no longer anchored to the ground. Ahead of us lies boundless space, where distance and time are no longer rigid rulers, but a gentle dance of curvature and transformation. Relax your shoulders. Feel weightlessness brushing every cell. Inhale deeply, welcoming the purity of emptiness. Exhale slowly, releasing the worries of the visible world. Tonight, we enter, when space-time bends, breaking limits. A quiet journey into the ways the universe seems to bend its own rules, opening doors to eternity and inviting us, softly, to look inside. The fabric of reality, when space is no longer flat. Breathe evenly, gently. To understand curvature, we must return to a time when space was believed to be nothing more than a vast, empty container holding stars and planets. Isaac Newton once imagined space as absolute, static, silent, and unchanging. It was the stage upon which the universe performed, but it never took part in the drama itself. Then came Albert Einstein, and with him, a profound shift in perspective. Space and time were no longer separate ideas. He wove them together into a single, inseparable entity. Space-time. Einstein showed us that space-time is not a rigid backdrop. It is a living, flexible fabric, an active participant in the universe's story. Picture space-time as a wide, stretched rubber mattress. Place a heavy object like the sun upon it, and the surface gently sags. The Earth is not pulled by an invisible force. It simply follows the curved paths carved into space-time itself, gliding along the contours shaped by mass. This is gravity's true nature. Matter tells space-time how to bend, and space-time tells matter how to move. Gravity is not a force in the traditional sense. It is geometry made visible. As you rest here tonight, take comfort in knowing that even the mightiest planets move not through struggle, but along the soft, inevitable curves of creation. The contraction of the second hand, when time becomes flexible. Relax your eyelids. Breathe slowly. One of the most astonishing consequences of curved space-time is that time itself becomes elastic. Einstein revealed that time does not tick at the same pace everywhere. It stretches and contracts depending on speed and gravity. In regions of immense gravity, time slows dramatically. You may recall the planet near the black hole Gargantua in Interstellar, where a single hour on its surface equals 7 years on Earth. This is not fantasy. It is the result of space-time being stretched to its extreme limits. Even in our daily lives, GPS satellites must constantly correct their atomic clocks. High above Earth, gravity is weaker and orbital speeds are faster, causing time to flow differently than it does for us on the ground. Here lies a quiet paradox. For a particle of light, a photon, time does not pass at all. From the moment it leaves a distant star billions of years ago to the instant it reaches your eye tonight, no time elapses from its own perspective. Light exists in an eternal present. When starlight touches you, you are meeting something that has transcended time to arrive at this moment. Chapter 3. Black holes. The boundaries of infinity. Take a deep breath now. Let your thoughts drift toward the most enigmatic objects in the universe. Black holes. These are regions where matter is crushed so densely that gravity becomes overwhelming, bending space-time into a seemingly bottomless well. The boundary of a black hole is known as the event horizon, the ultimate point of no return. Once anything crosses this threshold, even light itself, it vanishes forever from our observable universe. If you were to watch someone fall toward a black hole from afar, you would see them slow down, stretched by extreme time dilation, appearing to freeze at the edge of darkness. Yet for the falling traveler, time would feel normal as they pass the event horizon, before being torn apart by tidal forces in a process scientists call spaghettification. At the very heart of a black hole lies the singularity, where our current laws of physics collapse entirely. Some physicists speculate that black holes may even serve as gateways to other universes. They are not merely destroyers, but guardians, protecting the deepest secrets the universe has yet to reveal. Time-space shortcuts, wormholes, and warp engines. Now, allow your body to fully relax. Imagine if distances of thousands, or even billions, of light years could be crossed without enduring the long journey between them. Einstein's equations permit the theoretical existence of wormholes, also called Einstein-Rosen bridges. Visualize the universe as a flat sheet of paper. Instead of crawling across its surface, we fold it and create a tunnel connecting two distant points. A single step through such a passage could transport you to another galaxy in an instant. To keep a wormhole from collapsing, however, we would need exotic matter, a substance with negative energy. For now, it exists only in mathematics, not in our laboratories. Yet its presence in theory reminds us that the universe may still hold paths we have yet to walk. As you drift toward sleep tonight, let this thought settle gently in your mind. Space and time are not rigid walls, but flexible threads, quietly inviting humanity one day to pass through. Another audacious vision is the Alcubierre warp drive. Instead of forcing a spacecraft to push its way through space, this idea proposes something far more elegant: bending space itself. Space would gently contract in front of the ship and expand behind it, forming a quiet cocoon, a warp bubble. Within this bubble, the spacecraft would remain at rest, gliding effortlessly across the fabric of space-time, much like a surfer carried by an unseen wave. In this way, faster-than-light travel could occur without violating relativity, because it is not the ship that moves faster than light, but space itself that flows around it. The last love song, the future of the universe. Your breath is now slow, steady. As we look ahead toward the distant ending of all things, we encounter a quiet yet powerful presence known as dark energy. It makes up roughly 68 to 70% of the universe and gently, but relentlessly, pushes galaxies farther apart, accelerating the cosmic expansion. From this force, three possible endings emerge. The Big Freeze. The universe expands forever. Stars exhaust their fuel and fade away, leaving behind a cold, silent, and endless darkness. The Big Crunch of gravity ultimately wins, reversing expansion and pulling everything back into a single point, like a universe breathing its final breath inward. The Big Rip. Dark energy grows so strong that it tears apart galaxies, solar systems, and eventually even atoms themselves, unraveling space-time at its deepest level. Whichever fate awaits, rest peacefully tonight. The universe has spent 13.8 billion years unfolding so that you could lie here, breathing, aware of its beauty. Worries about tomorrow and regrets about yesterday are only small ripples upon an infinite ocean of space-time. Your breath is now almost weightless. Feel the quiet protection around you. You are quite literally awakened stardust. Every atom within your body was forged in the burning hearts of stars that vanished billions of years ago. In you, the universe has found a way to look at itself, and perhaps to love itself. Let your body fully relax. Allow your thoughts to drift like a grain of cosmic dust, floating through the calmest and flattest regions of space. Sink gently into sleep, wrapped in the great laws and quiet mysteries of creation. Imagine the universe as an endless carpet of black velvet. Its soft folds are your dreams. You do not need to cross this vastness, only to let yourself settle gently into it tonight. When you lean into the darkness of reality and gaze at the night sky, you may wonder whether you are looking at a peaceful painting or listening to echoes from a distant past. The truth is both comforting and humbling. We are awakened particles of stardust, fragments of the universe trying to understand itself after billions of years of wandering. The iron in your blood and the calcium in your bones were forged inside massive stars, then scattered across space in brilliant supernova. Our desire to reach the stars is not a hunger for conquest, but a quiet longing for home. A melancholic call echoing from our origins, urging this small life on a pale blue dot to remember where it came from. In our everyday world, distance feels manageable. A kilometer can be walked in minutes. The Earth's circumference fits neatly into our imagination. But beyond the atmosphere, the kilometer becomes fragile and meaningless, like a grain of sand in an endless desert. The universe demands a different ruler, the light year. 1 light year is nearly 9.46 trillion kilometers, a number so vast that counting it 1 second at a time would take over 31,700 years, longer than the entire history of human civilization. Distance in space is also distance in time. Every look into the cosmos is a journey into the past. The warmth of sunlight on your skin left the sun more than 8 minutes ago. And if Proxima Centauri, our nearest stellar neighbor, were to vanish this very moment, it would continue to shine in our sky for 4 more years, like a ghost, unaware that it has already gone silent. Humanity's journey into the darkness began quietly, with fire, smoke, and a fragile signal, the simple beep, beep of Sputnik 1, and later reached the solemn permanence of Neil Armstrong's footprints pressed into the silent dust of the moon. Those early moments planted a powerful belief within us that human intelligence could one day rise above the grip of gravity itself. Yet reality tempered that confidence. When we turned our gaze toward Voyager 1, the farthest-reaching emissary humanity has ever sent into the void. After nearly half a century of tireless flight, moving faster than any bullet ever fired, Voyager has still not completed even a single light day. To reach the distance of 1 light year, it would require another 17,500 years, long enough for countless civilizations on Earth to be born, flourish, and quietly disappear. We now realize that we live within an oasis of perception, enclosed by the universal speed limit that nature has imposed, the speed of light. Our effort to cross the gulf of light years is not merely an engineering challenge. It is a confrontation with the unforgiving nature of space itself. The interstellar medium, though it appears empty, is filled with thin gases, microscopic dust, and relentless cosmic radiation. At ordinary speeds, a grain of dust is harmless. But as velocity approaches the speed of light, that same particle becomes a bullet, carrying the destructive energy of an explosive capable of vaporizing a spacecraft in an instant. To protect future travelers, we imagine titanium shields or walls of water meters thick, yet the mass of these defenses becomes an enemy of acceleration. Our dream of reaching the stars is forever suspended between the need for protection and the longing for speed. And still, humanity continues to dream. The Breakthrough Starshot initiative offers one of the boldest ideas yet: spacecraft no larger than computer chips, driven forward by powerful laser sails to reach 20% the speed of light. At such a pace, the nearest star, Proxima Centauri, could be reached in roughly 20 years, a span that still fits within a single human lifetime. Yet even if the energy problem is solved, logic itself presents another obstacle: the paradox of waiting. A spacecraft launched today may be overtaken a century later by a faster one, built with improved technology. The pioneers, having endured centuries of isolation, might arrive only to find a world already settled by their own descendants, who never bore the cost of that long journey. The story grows even more profound when we enter the realm of Albert Einstein. He revealed that space and time are not rigid backdrops, but a living, flexible fabric shaped by mass and energy. Gravity, in this view, is not a force pulling from afar, but the very curvature of space-time itself. Where space bends deeply, time slows. This phenomenon, time dilation, is both wondrous and unforgiving. An astronaut traveling near the speed of light may age only a few years, while decades pass on Earth. Such travelers would return as living fossils, severed from the historical rhythm of their own species. To escape the tyranny of light years, humanity has dared to imagine ways of bending the rules. One such vision is the Alcubierre engine, or warp drive. Rather than pushing a ship through space, it would reshape space itself, compressing it in front and expanding it behind. Within this gentle distortion, the spacecraft would rest motionless, gliding across space-time like a surfer on a cosmic wave, covering vast distances without breaking the cosmic speed limit. Even more daring are wormholes, shortcuts through the universe, like tunnels bored through a folded sheet of paper, linking points millions of light years apart in a single step. For now, these ideas remain suspended between mathematics and imagination. Yet they remind us of something essential: that distance, no matter how immense, has never been enough to extinguish the human desire to explore. In the quiet darkness of the cosmos, our dreams continue to burn, steady, patient, and unafraid. When you contemplate the immensity of the visible universe, stretching some 93 billion light-years across, with trillions of galaxies drifting like silent embers in an endless night, you may feel a gentle, aching sense of solitude. This universe may be rich with life, yet it is those very light years that rise like invisible walls of time, separating one consciousness from another. A message, once sent, may need thousands of years to arrive, and by the time an answer returns, the civilization that first spoke may have already faded into silence. Every attempt at cosmic communication thus becomes a form of information archaeology, a careful listening for voices long gone across oceans not only of space, but of time itself. And yet, it is precisely this vast separation that renders each moment of existence so rare, so meaningful. Every question we ask, every insight we uncover, becomes more precious because it is fleeting. In a universe where nothing is guaranteed to endure, awareness itself becomes sacred. In the end, even if we never succeed in building a perfect time machine or a true warp engine, the greater miracle remains unchanged. That a small, fragile being on an unremarkable planet can measure eternity, can gaze into darkness, and still long to understand it. We are not merely inhabitants of the universe. We are the means by which the universe observes itself, reflects upon itself, and, in a quiet way, comes to love itself through thought and perception. Every telescope humanity has ever raised, from Galileo's simple glass to the profound vision of the James Webb, has been an outstretched arm reaching back through time to touch the history that formed us. The universe spent 13.8 billion years unfolding, cooling, shaping stars and worlds, so that a part of itself, you, here and breathing, could awaken for a brief moment and contemplate its beauty before returning one day to the great silence. Tonight, let the ancient light of stars billions of light years away slip softly through your window. Let it stand watch over your dreams. And remember this gentle truth. Though we are small, humanity carries within itself the memory, the wonder, and the quiet dignity of a truly magnificent universe. Good night, night travelers.